Welcome this evening to LettiSpeaks. And I had to choose between doing one of my great folklore tales or to do a spread. I felt led to do a spread tonight. And so here we are. And the spread that stood out to me tonight is talking about revealing in honesty. It's talking about perception relating to maybe one person to another person. And so whoever it is that you may be feeling has been on your mind, or whoever comes to mind, when I say that this person could in fact be mirroring you, or it could be someone that you feel this relating with, right? Doesn't necessarily mean it has to be love. It could be any type of relating or relationship, right? And so I wanted to dig in tonight just to get some different perspectives. And so think about the person who is on your mind as I'm talking. If you are new here, go ahead and hit the like button, comment, you can share. You can also choose to interact a different way. There's a couple of links down in my description box, ways that you can connect with me. Personally, I have my email, also my calendar if you're looking for a personal reading. These readings are general. However, if they do resonate, perfect. If they don't try to make it fit. That's why I have my link below. If you're looking for something that is a fit just for you, a reading just for you, you can definitely schedule with me. And if you're returning, welcome back. I appreciate you stopping back by. With that being said, again, my name is LettiSpeaks. So glad to have you. Let's jump in. So the two decks that I'm using my Wild Unknown Tarot deck, coupled with one of my Oracle decks, the Wisdom of Hidden Realms. I felt like this would be a beautiful match. It has very beautiful imagery, but that at the same time, it's very simple as well. And so I'll also see if I'm being called to pull from any of my other resources as well for this message. Now, before going in, I feel like overall what I'm feeling here before I even get started is this is definitely about relationships. It's about relating. I get the feel like this could definitely be in the pursuit of happiness in many ways. I feel like there is possibly the energy of putting old relationships to rest for some. There's definitely a change, a major change happening in your life around relationships. I feel like this has been something that has been difficult, possibly for some, as there may have been forces working against this change, working against even one of the parties in this relationship, fighting against the betterment, I feel like, for someone here. There could have been like an energy working in the background trying to prevent someone from getting ahead or possibly even doing what's best for them. And I feel like it came to a point where there was a decision that could have been made to choose self. But before even getting to that point, there could have been this checking out. I get the energy of checking out, just kind of being done with the situation and being checked out. You know how you sometimes you continue to be in a situation when you're there physically, but you're no longer there mentally or emotionally. It's almost that kind of energy. And I am getting very mature energy. So I don't feel like this would necessarily be like a young bop relationship, right? This is not teenage stuff, but I'm getting very mature energy here. And I feel like overall it's this energy of seeking, personal happiness. And that may very well be a desire to, solidify a union with someone moving forward here. And that's just for some. That doesn't have to be for everyone. But that's kind of the overall gist of what I'm getting. It's almost like growing out of, a situation or a relationship or even a situationship. That would be a good way to say that. And so that's the overall energy that I'm getting. But let's go ahead and dive in. This side we are going to say is you. This side over here is them, right? And then when we get all the way to the top, after discovering the energies within this dynamic or this relationship, we're going to see what the outcome is. So to start, for the very first couple of cards, we're going to take a look at what you see yourself as right now. And so the first two cards is the Queen, the Swan Queen rather, and coupled with a tarot card, which is the Seven of Pentacles. And so the Swan Queen talks about transformation, talks about this intuition, and it talks about patience as well. And with this card, I'm really getting the numbers 13. I'm really getting for you, this really feels like, for me, it's feeling like, I don't know why I'm getting like the duckling, or they call it the ugly duckling, right? But it's the duckling that actually later turns into the swan. So I'm almost getting like how you see yourself. It's like changing from one thing that you saw as undesirable. And right now you're like transforming, possibly, especially with the Seven of Pentacles. It talks about something growing or an investment put in, and just kind of sitting back and watching what is transpiring or becoming of what has been invested, right? And so there's this change that's happening. You could very well have seen yourself in some type of way or another as less desirable than you currently see yourself as. Not that you saw yourself as ugly, but there's like some type of transformation where you are seeing yourself in a greater sense as a whole. And that could be in terms of like beauty. That can be in terms of value, growing in value. I feel like it is mostly growing in value. But I also feel like there's a very surface level sense to this as well. For some, this could be, working up your self-esteem, and for some reason, I'm seeing someone just kind of peering in a mirror and loving what they see, working on really appreciating every part of who you are. And so for whoever you are, I feel like you are definitely growing in your appreciation, in your love, in your I even get like even a sense of infatuation, with yourself. Not that it's a bad energy. Infatuation doesn't have to be bad. It could actually be, you just appreciating yourself more. And I just realized this isn't even the 7 of Pentacles. This is the 6 of Pentacles. It's the 6 of Pentacles. And so for me, 6s usually mean like really coming home to self. It's coming back to take care and take prize in self, right? And so there's an energy around you right now that is really very attentive to yourself. And so for whoever this is, it's almost like how you're seeing yourself right now is you are seeing the need to really invest in yourself and be very generous to yourself, right? You are seeing your own growth through certain types of transformations that are happening in you right now. And I feel like this is very much self-induced. Like this is something that you are doing for yourself, within yourself. And this is how you're thinking of yourself right now. I would say rather highly right now with the Swan Queen and the 6 of Pentacles. You're thinking rather highly of yourself right now. Which is beautiful. So for the person on your mind, let's see how they're seeing themselves. And we have the Wise Woman of Wonderland. And we have the 9 of Wands. And so for whoever this is that's on your mind, and we have number 21, they're seeing themselves kind of in when I think of Wonderland, I think of a place where many things happen unexpectedly, right? And I'm thinking of, all these little tricks and surprises. And, so for whoever this is that's on your mind, I feel like they are seeing themselves as very crafty, very wise, like someone who is able to maneuver really well. And they're seeing themselves as having a very high sense or level of integrity, and someone they're seeing themselves as very uncompromising. And the 9 of Wands actually talks about being in this energy of sometimes like a waiting energy. And it almost feels like this could be someone who could possibly be not someone who is willing to take less than they, feel like they deserve. Someone who sees themselves as strong and willing to wait and uncompromising. Someone with lots of strength and stamina to stand. and very confident as well. So for whoever this is, they may see themselves in that light as someone who's able to maneuver in areas that they need to travel. And they may very well see themselves as being in a very powerful position. The wise woman of Wonderland, that almost feels like being in control of what happens in the land, almost like ruler, not necessarily rulership energy, but being able to navigate in ways that the average person may not be aware of. Very crafty. And so whoever this is sees themselves in a really high light as well. And just because we say queen or woman, we're just talking about the energy. These could be people that are in their very feminine energy. And as we know, we all carry both masculine and feminine energy. Doesn't necessarily mean we're talking about men or women. We're just talking about the energy that's being expressed right now. Feminine energy is very passive energy, as opposed to masculine energy. It's doing energy, making things happen. And so for the wise woman of Wonderland, this could even be like a woman that's in this very masculine energy right now. Or it could be the opposite. It could be a man that's in feminine energy right now. And so whichever it is, it's a very clever energy. Whoever this is sees themselves as very clever, very crafty, very wise, very confident as well. And so what are you feeling right now? All right, we have the hungry ghost. And we have the 5 of Pentacles coupled with the hungry ghost. And so the hungry ghost actually talks about feeling, there could be like a feeling of lack in some area of your life. Because the hungry ghost talks about this energy of obsessiveness, scarcity consciousness, or some type of attachment. And so there may be like feeling like there's something that you are lacking right now. And then that coupled with the 5 of Pentacles. So the 5 of Pentacles is an energy that actually talks about the material state of being. The number 5 talks about change, but the pentacle part talks about the state of being in the physical world. And as you can look at this flower, it's very droopy. It almost feels like it's sad, or there's some type of worry, or like it's not well, and so you may not be feeling at your very best at this moment, and there could be a feeling like there's something that's needed, like there's something that you can't do without or live without. I almost get the feeling like there's something that overwhelms your existence. Your desire is overwhelming in your current state of being right now in this moment. And whatever that is possibly feels like it's something that is put as the end all be all, right? It's the end all be all. And there's nothing that could substitute or take the place of whatever that is that you feel is lacking. And so I feel this very earnest desire for something. And so how you're feeling right now is like that you are needing something, like there's something lacking that you're desiring. And because of that, there's like this void, I feel. There's a void right now that's waiting to be filled. Let's see how they're feeling. So we have the Metal King and the Father of Pentacles. So right now, I feel like they're feeling very balanced. The Father of Pentacles is actually the King of Pentacles, and then the Metal King, right, which is talking about discipline, boundaries, and armor. Like there's a very strong sense of protection here, a very strong sense of balance and control, like self-control. They're feeling very much, they may very well be feeling in their power. Kind of like if there was like a situation or a relationship here, this person would feel like they are very much the one that's in charge, you know, the one that's kind of running things, or the one that's actually has the advantage at this moment. That's the energy I'm getting from this. This person is feeling this way, like they have the advantage at this moment because of this level of self-discipline that they're feeling within themselves, this level of self-control, this level of balance. The Father of Pentacles is very, very balanced. It's very patient, very slow-moving energy. And it's almost the opposite of like the energy that I'm getting from you. The energy that I'm receiving from you is almost like, and I'm imagining someone at a relay race. And you know how at the beginning of the relay races, everybody is bent down on their cones and they're waiting for the gun to go off so that they can start. That's the energy that I get with you. Like you're ready for the go so that you can take off towards whatever this is that you are desiring. Whatever this is that you could be manifesting or waiting to bring into your existence. But it's the opposite energy from the person that's on your mind, because they're in this very laid back energy. This energy that is not really in a rush. It's not the energy that says, I have to have it right now. Like I can wait. I can sit back and kind of allow it to just naturally unfold for me, right? It's a very opposite energy from you. As a matter of fact, the Pentacles are the slowest moving energy in the deck, and the King of Pentacles is just that way. You know, savors the moment, and though they may see something that they really want and desire, they're able to sit back and kind of watch and, you know, kind of really examine really closely whatever it is that they're looking at, that they're wanting. They're able to kind of sit back in the corner and just, you know, really tear it apart and see what it's made of, see if it's really what it is that they want. And so the Father of Pentacles is very balanced, very laid back, very stable energy, not in a rush. And so that's the energy I'm getting from them. This very balanced, very controlled energy. It's very powerful energy, actually, is what I'm feeling from them. Yeah. All right. And so I want to take a look at the dynamic that you are feeling between and about each other. So what is it that you are feeling that they feel? So we've taken a look at how you feel right now and how they feel right now. Now let's look at how you are perceiving them to feel right now. So when you look at them, how is it that you perceive them to feel? So looking at them, you see the Star and the Altar Princess. So as you look at them, you're seeing them as being very ready, very sacred, you know, very sacred energy, and connected to with the Star. Like you see them as, I would say, something special, or this is looking at how they feel though. And so you're looking at them. When you look at them, you see them feeling this way. As someone who is sacred, someone who has the ability to put something sacred together, someone who is connected, probably with their higher power, or connected on some deep level with the Star here. And the Altar Princess really talks about a level of function when it comes to the sacred world. You may even see them feeling this way. Like you see them in a capacity of feeling sacred, feeling, you know, like they're putting something together. They're preparing something in a sacred, ritualistic way. You may see them as feeling magical in themselves when you look at them. You see them as feeling like they are being led by their higher power. So for whoever this is for you, you see them in a pretty interesting light. As you watch them, you see them very hopeful. You see them as seeing themselves as giving hope. And you see them as seeing themselves in this very peaceful state in whatever it is that they're doing. Like you see them as very confident as they step out to do what they're being led to do, and doing it well. The altar princess in this oracle deck reminds me of the magician, which is, one of the first cards to show this level of power within self. So when you look at them, you see them as very you see them as seeing themselves as very confident and assertive within themselves, able to make things happen and go out and realize what it is that they're putting, their mind to do. And you see them looking at themselves in this way. And so when you look at them, you see confidence within themselves. You see assertiveness. You see this self-empowerment that happens within them when you look at them. And it's rather interesting because looking at her, it's like she doesn't even realize that you're, watching, and you could very well see this about them and they not even realize that's how you see them, as this powerful entity, this powerful energy, because they're so busy doing what they've set their mind to do, right? Yeah. And I also get like you see them as being very set apart as well. You see them as seeing themselves, as very set apart. Like you see that they realize that like there's something different, there's a need to separate or act or react or do things differently, right? You could possibly even see them as like purposefully marching to the beat of their own drum. Like you see them as set apart, as different, as peculiar. Let's see how they are seeing or looking at how you are seeing yourself. So when they look at you, how is it that they are seeing you perceive yourself? We have the River Queen and the Eight of Pentacles. So as they look over at you, what they see when you are seeing yourself, they're seeing you see yourself as like easygoing, like not feeling the need to control things. You're someone who's very fluid and allow things to just happen naturally. This is how they are viewing you and feeling like this is how you're seeing yourself. And they're feeling like you're feeling like, you want things to just flow naturally. But also that you feel the necessity to really work hard at whatever it is that you set your mind to do. Whatever it is you set your mind to do, you feel, they see you as feeling the need to always do above and beyond, to do more, someone who exceeds the bare minimum requirements, right? And they see you and they actually feel like you feel almost like there is a need to even control what happens around you. I'm looking at this web, right? They may see you as the need to feel like you have to have a level of control with what goes on. Like you need to feel like you have things under grips, right? Which is very interesting because it's the opposite of the River Queen, which is very naturally unfolding. It's this very flowy, let go energy. But then it's also coupled with the Eight of Pentacles, which is really honing in on something and having a very good sense of control too. It's mastery energy. Like the Black Widow here is a master of its environment, its immediate environment, right? That's why it weaves the web, because it wants to control what comes through there, and it wants to catch anything that passes through its environment. Sometimes it might eat it, sometimes it might let it go if it feels like it's not worthy, but it's the fact that it has its environment set up, exactly the way that it needs it to be, so that nothing passes through without consulting it, When a spider weaves the web, it weaves it with intention, right? It weaves it with expectation of what's going to happen. And so this is how they see you feeling about yourself. This is how they feel like you see yourself. That's how they feel you are feeling. Like on one hand, you want to just go with the flow, and roll with it. But on the other hand, it's like, not anything can just go. We got to keep stuff under wraps over here, So if this is if it is a relationship, I feel like it's very interesting energies out here. And the approach to the connection may be very different as well. One person may very well want, things to happen a certain way, but at the same time, be willing to allow things to unfold. But there is that urgent, anticipation, expectation behind that's very amped up with a lot of energy. And I feel like one of the energies is very ready and prepared, to have things happen, to make things happen. And then on the other end, there's this very cool, calm, collective, relaxed energy that's just like, you know what? It's good, Whatever comes, comes. Whatever goes, goes, It's this very cool, calm, very sure of itself type of energy. It almost feels like someone that has mastered, how to handle situations, at least this situation, whatever this is. If it's a relationship, if it's, going into a relationship, one person feels very sure and very laid back, almost like they can predict what's going to happen. The other person is like, okay, this is how it must go. This is how I envision it, and this is how it must go, right? And so it's very interesting to look at the dynamics of both of the energies here. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a, romantic relationship. This could be a platonic relationship. This could be a partnership. I feel like this could even be a possible friendship or, relative type of relationship. I'm just looking at the energy dynamics in this relationship. And of course, we're talking about energies here. Even though we're talking about kings and queens and princesses and, we're talking about energy. And so really try to take it as it resonates. In the beginning, as I was channeling before I laid the messages out, I did get, for some, this definitely could be, in fact, a love relationship, because I got the energy of a marriage that will result, or the desire for marriage and this connection here. But the marriage could be, again, it could be either romantic, or a marriage could also be business, because a marriage is basically the signing of contracts. And so it could be a business endeavor as much as it could be a romantic endeavor. And I also got the energy of a more mature energy. Even as I'm laying out the energies here, these energies do feel very mature. As we're talking about, kings and queens. Oh, well, we did get one priestess, but again, that's a very mature energy. And so I feel like I'm talking to probably somebody that's going to be, or these are individuals that are going to be at least, I would say, past 30. I'm going to guess that it's going to be past 30. But the whole idea behind this reading when I channeled was around this energy of bringing in a desired level of happiness. Coming to a place in life where it's like, okay, this no longer works. It's time to bring in some change. It's time to demand, happiness. Like, I deserve it. And this could have very well been a situation where you've, one or the other got to the place where they were just kind of like checked out, of old ways of doing things, of old connections. And, they were there physically, but they were no longer there mentally. They were like emotionally checked out, which ushers in this new desire, this new energy of wanting and pulling in something that's going to be more fulfilling. And with that being said, there's change happening. There could be people coming in and out. Someone could be leaving and someone could be entering in. But it is the energy of changing and possibly needing a level of guidance or assistance in some type of way as these changes are happening. Working through possible challenges around these changes taking place. And then lastly, we're going to see what it is that you would like to happen in this situation. So we have the Spirit Whisperer and the Two of Pentacles. And so I feel like for whoever you are wanting a level of help to come in and assist you as you make these changes, or as you bring this new energy or these desires in for yourself. I feel like there is a desire to not make the wrong decision. You would like to make the right decision so that you don't have to go through the rigmarole again, right? This is craving divine guidance or that level of higher knowing, right? We have the owl up here, if you can see that. And owls represent wisdom. Owls represent this very navigational energy. You know, owls represent the energy of seeing, being able to see ahead in the distance and being able to navigate with knowledge and with wisdom. And then with the Two of Pentacles, this is talking about bringing in a level of change. Again, that's what we've been talking about this whole time. Bringing in a level of balance. Like, it signifies this inevitable shift that's happening. And again, Pentacles talks about the physical existence. So we're talking about earthly possessions, you know. This could be talking about a job or some financial situation, or even a physical move from one place to another. It's the inevitable that's taking place. And so what you're desiring in this is some level of guidance and assistance as you're making this change, as you are welcoming in this change, as you're actually navigating through this change that's happening for you. And of course, it is the butterfly. What other better symbol for change, right? And I feel like Spirit is saying with the butterfly that when it's all said and done, right, it's going to be better on the other side. We know that the butterfly goes through this very painful and dark metamorphosis, but it's with hopes of coming out, you know, with the promise, with the ability of not only having to scoot along the leaves, now we can fly from place to place to get what it is that we need. So there's a greater level of capacity on the other side. And so this change that you are navigating right now, like, that's what you're wanting out of this. You're wanting to do it in a way that's going to be beneficial when it's all said and done. I get the feeling like somebody like you may not want to have the expense of making mistakes at this point in life. If there's a right way, you want to do it the right way, because you don't want to have to redo it. And so you're requesting, you are desiring, you're craving this higher level of knowing to help navigate you through this change, to get to the other side, that whatever that happiness represents for you. Let's see what they want to happen. So we have the Hawk Prince. And then we have the Mother of Swords in reverse. So the Hawk Prince is talking about communication with spirit. It's talking about being attuned to what's happening around you. For this other person, they may very well just want to be a part of the change. They want to be tapped in and tuned in to what's going on. I feel like the Hawk Prince is it's very spiritual energy. As you can see, there's a man here, and it definitely looks native, and it looks like he has wings on his back. There's birds around him. There's this energy of spirit through smoke flowing all around him. It's a very spiritual energy. So they may very want to have some type of spiritual connection come out of this. I feel like someone wants to learn something from this. And they very much may be wanting to learn something from you. But the Queen of Swords in reverse is a clear level-headedness. Upright, she represents this very logical and rational energy. But when it's in reverse, I'm sorry. So usually the Queen of Swords is in this very clear, logical, and level-headed energy, right? She's very rational, but in reverse, she's a little confused because it's the opposite of that. It's not being too sure of how it is to navigate or to map out the way, or to set concrete steps on how to get to where it is that is being traveled. It's having that hazy feeling, right? And that can be a little bit frustrating, especially if you're in a role of leadership. Not having clarity is like not really the best situation to be in. Because as you know, leaders are watched, we're followed, and so it's beneficial to have a clear path, to have clarity on what's happening. And so, yeah, I feel like what this person desires is spirit communication. And it's because there's a need for clarity. This could be pertaining to their own life, but it also could be pertaining to whatever this connection is with you. There could be the wanting for a level of covering and protection as well. I feel like there's, Sword does talk about inner chatter as well. So there could be a lot of inner chatter going on with this person as they're trying to gain that level of clarity. And so there is a desire for protection against that scattered energy. Yeah. And so it's almost like wanting to be guided to make sure that you are on the right path. You're doing the right thing. Your thinking is protected and not scattered. You're saying, things that are in alignment for not only your highest good, but everyone's highest good. And to stay away from, haughtiness, like unproductive things, like simple things that will lead to disagreements and arguments. I almost feel like this is just wanting to be in tune in that way so that you are completely aware that you don't fall into any traps.